when they see.
Bro, just rotate him like Georgia did 2 years ago.
No, nigga, don't rotate him. Start that nigga and don't look.
That's how I feel, Chris. That's how I feel.
Hey, swear to God, bro.
You know it ain't gonna happen, though.
Hey, man. I say you do it the old school. You put that nigga out there.
No, do not rotate. And here's why. Everybody in the Ohio State side, like all the fans, like the pump sunshine. Here we go. They swear that Ohio State has the best evaluation. They swear that Ohio State develops the highest clip, and they swear the coaches know the most. All three cannot be true. If you trust the developmental side of it, then that would suggest that nigga CJ's better than Harold Perkins. You trust the development side of it, that would suggest that they develop better than LSU at that position. So if those two things
Abdul Carter as well.
Everybody else in that roster and start that nigga. I don't care. Tell niggas to go to Ball State. Tell niggas to go to Marshall. Tell niggas to go to Illinois. It does not matter. Start that nigga and never look back. That way we'll have a situation with a linebacker getting.
If you did not know, that was Big Kris Drew. Kris, we in the building.
We're here.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to the State of the Program, second edition. We in here, happy to be joined by my guy, Big Kris Drew. Kris, how you doing?
Doing really good. Excited to do this, and we have a couple big announcements too on the flip side. But happy to be in my Akron studio. I made the trek back, and we've been trying to do this for a couple weeks now, Q. And like we haven't been able to work it out. But it's almost worked out like that because like things have happened and we've seen things and heard things, and we finally were able to kind of put our light skin heads together and figure out what we got to do to get this episode finally out there. So nothing like a Thursday night, and it's like a Friday for me, bro, because I'm not on the show tomorrow. Obviously, Zach went to Vegas, so I'm off doing my own thing. So I'll be sipping a little bit and hanging out and talking all things Ohio State ball, as we should be, as you should spend every evening. And if you're not already subbed, what are you doing? Like sub to Best Damn Media Group. I know you guys do shows every Sunday. They've been doing a really good job. And for those of you looking for kind of a refreshing step away from the beat and really a pulse on kind of the actual like reaction from things, the actual thoughts that aren't just regurgitated, definitely worth a sub, worth a listen. I do admit, Q, you guys are on my rotation list. And for those who know me, they know that my podcast choices are very select. There's about 5 or 6 on them. It has to mean something. So that's my little spiel for you. And I appreciate what you're doing. I heard you just got back from the Civil War. Things behind you. And
they
so
were giving me from my background.
Yeah, I'm really glad you made it out because I don't know what we would have done. You Purple Heart brother, you done well. But to those who actually served, more power to you. Q did not. He's just a fraud right now.
Yeah, I'm still in my dad's background a little bit, but I had to make sure I leveled up my computer system for this very special show. So if you have not been here, this is Best Damn Media Group. Got our guy Kris Drew in here. We're gonna go to the State of the Program, but this is the top fan channel out there. We do a show every Sunday, and we ain't gonna hold back. And right now, we're gonna get into the State of the Program. So we ain't gonna hold back with that either. We're gonna grade hard. We definitely want your input. And we are judging where the program is at and where we need it to be to win titles. That's what this show is all about. We need to win titles. And we talked about it last time. If you did not tap into that first show was a banger. We did part 1 on Kris's Korner or The Korner. We did part 2 right here. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. But this is going to be a more spring update, like you did say, where we try to do a little earlier. We're a little behind, but the dust has settled. We're going into summer ball. We want to see where everything is at and how we feel going into the season. And we'll do another one probably right before the season. But let's jump into how we feel about it now. So this is what basically we're going to run through. We're gonna grade our coaches, Ryan Day included with the staff. We're going to see if they're the best in the country. We're going to grade our roster. Are they good enough to win the title? Like this, when I talked about it last time, I was like, these 2 years were the window. That half that window that we just passed is gone. So after this year, there's going to be a big time roster turnover. So we got to judge that. I want to hear from you. Do you think this roster is good enough? We're going to go over facilities again, like we updated from last time, see where we are, see what's happening around the nation. And we're going to talk about recruiting, obviously, with a little NIL input because those have been updated since last time we talked about them. But Kris, so I want to start with this. And Chad, I see y'all in here. I see my guy C. Trend was up. I see.
Can I get a
Cam
wah in the
here.
chat? Wah.
What up? What up? What up, all y'all? So have y'all in here. Put it in. Plus, see Mike in here. Cam, the whole crew in here. So we gonna get this one jumping. So the first thing, and this was not on. We kind of keep a rotating list of what we want to talk about. That way we can just update it and build on last time. But Kris, this right here was not in the show notes. This right here came out, and I said, Kris, we gotta lead the show with this. So let's talk about it.
Losses here to road to Michigan.
Yeah.
That, the Buckeyes can turn things around in this rivalry after a couple losses here to road to Michigan.
Yeah, it's so funny. Everybody's so focused on, just one game.
Yeah, so we are gonna start right there. That is, if you do not know, and I'm sure most of you do, that is Gene Smith, the AD. Everything starts with him, football included. He is the guy who is calling all the shots. He's controlling the budget. He's controlling everything. Kris, I'm gonna ask you, with an attitude like that, do we want this guy in charge of the football program?
You want the long version or the short version?
We got time. Give me the medium long version.
The medium long, because that boy's already medium ugly. He deserves to get medium slapped while we're here. And I don't like wishing any sort of violence or saying that I would slap a black man, but this is definitely a slappable offense. So it's absolutely a fireable offense. It is Ohio State. You have a clock on the wall that counts down to the game. You have the initials up there. You cross out every M on campus the week of the game, and your AD was going to here and say, it's kind of funny that, it's just one game. Who ever thought that? I was watching the game. I didn't think it was funny watching Donovan Edwards run down our throat. No. I didn't think it was funny losing 2 straight. I definitely didn't think that planting the flag on the block O was funny. So for the AD, for the boss of your head coach to open up his whack-ass mouth about this is crazy. The Notre Dame coach are showing through, and someone needs to slap him. And I feel like every coach that's alive, all of them, when they saw this quote, either dropped their phone or dropped their newspaper, because I know some of them are old and don't like technology. So blown away. I'm blown away. An AD cannot say this ever. This can never come out of your mouth, Gene Smith. Yeah. Not now, not ever, not when you're Notre Dame, not when you're somewhere else. And honestly, I'm surprised that the boosters didn't make you come issue an apology. And also, as an athletic director, you have to understand the role you play. Everything you do will get picked apart. So you should be careful with your words, because the athletic director, your words hold power. Now, if you don't think Ryan Day's going to win this next year and you want to kind of excuse yourself from having to fire him, okay, I get it. Maybe don't talk about it. But to go on a podcast and answer that kind of question, or go on a radio interview and answer that kind of question like that, basically saying that every fan, every donor, every person in America that watched the game, it was the most watched regular season game of the year. Most watched. Basically saying all of you that felt away about losing this game, you don't matter, and that should never be the case. It's egregious, and honestly, the consensus should be, shut the fuck up, Gene Smith. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, and just jumping onto that, not only all that shit that they do for the week of the game, but coming from the other side as a fan, like I said, this is a fan channel. We live stream the game. Me, Mike, and Ron set up there live, watching Michigan bust our ass, and then had to hop in a Twitter space for hours. taking what we could call abuse. We could have called the cops on the stuff that was being said to us. I'm like, bro, he does not, like, I don't know if this is a disconnect, and he is not disconnected, but one, Michigan winning, this rivalry is up and vibing, but he got to be the one. Shit, we answer for the program more than Gene Smith does. He does this little, I'm a back my coach. I'll stand here next to him at the podium and move on. We got to live this shit 365, including you. What happened when you came in on the show on Monday? What happened?
I was getting packed up by my own fans. My own fans are packing me up. Bro, I was on a space and a Florida fan was mocking me. The boys that lost to Vandy. Like, Gene Smith, do you not get it? When you go through this, I get bullied. When we lose that silly little game, I get bullied. Not you, because you're up and wherever. You only got to talk to Austin Moore when you want to talk to him. But I get bullied. Chris Drew in Akron. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's a disconnect. He doesn't get it. And honestly, I mean, boy needs medium smacked in a kind of Christian way, if I'm being really honest.
I mean, the shit just doesn't make any sense.
He needs to wash his mouth out, bro.
There is
Wash
we
it
have
out.
3 things a year that we focus on: beating Michigan, winning the Big Ten, winning the Natty. You can get away with those back end 2 if you do the first one. It is the most important thing. Some people, now up to each fan, it's a discussion, but would rather beat Michigan and go 1-11 than go take a championship losing to Michigan. Some people would choose that. It means that much with the rivalry. So
I mean, you're right. You said it kind of, you opened up with it. It's like the 3 goals. Urban always laid out. The 3 goals are, win the game, win the conference, win a natty. It's okay if you don't go 3 for 3. But what's not okay is going 0 for 3 in back-to-back years, because 0 for 3 in back-to-back years, Q, I don't know if you're a math major, but that equals 0 for 6. And you get fired for 0 for 6. We fired in the real world. I'm not at all saying I want Ryan Day fired. The only one that I kind of want to get rid of is Gene Smith. Boy, he's be pissing me off, bro. I can't hold you.
I mean, it's 100% facts. And being see, this is the thing right now. Ohio State as a football program, the pressure is really on. You have those back-to-back losses. You have people maybe calling for Ryan Day's head or say he can't get it done. And that is what we want to say. That's a good thing. It's a good thing that they feel that pressure. When you go up there,
pressure is a privilege.
Yeah, when you go up there and you say that, you just cut the pressure of the entire program. Everyone is focused on, we got to beat Michigan. Like, I don't care what happens next season. We got to beat Michigan. You go up there and say that, it's like, I mean, maybe we can lose to Michigan if we do some other things. And it was, like I said, when we did our last one, it was great. We had the Georgia game, but we live in this 365. And like Sue said, they still talking. We there's no break from this. We going way.
I can't even tweet happy birthday grandma with the dove emoji and a prayer hands without someone putting that stupid ass flag on our midfield. I can't even wish my grandma happy birthday without something like that happen.
Bro,
like that's what we're at. Initially, we also sound like Michigan did a couple years ago. Like Michigan lost 5 or 6 or 7 straight. We were beating their ass every year. And people are saying, like, on the Michigan side, oh, it's just one game. Like, we had a good season except for the one game. It's like the last thing I want to sound like is my ops, period. And also, bro, like, my mom went to Michigan. So, like, going home these last 2 years has been tricky. You shouldn't even watch football. But sometimes, bro, she don't even watch football. But sometimes I'll go home and she'll just have the highlights on the screen. Like, what are you doing? You don't even like sports.
Is it one of those lose where if Ohio State wins, it's not talked about? It's pretty quiet in the house. But because we lost, now she's talking about it.
And she doesn't even know Q. It's worse than that. Not even talking about it. I'll just like walk in the house and she'll just have it on the TV, like the game on, like on the big screen in there. And it's like, what's going on? You hate football. I wasn't even allowed to play football growing up.
Man, hey, PSA to G Smith. Somebody actually told Kris he wasn't gonna be shit in life because y'all lost. So get that shit together.
Hey, that was really crazy, bro. I'm literally out. I'm at Revelry. I'm with Homegirl. I'm with Zach, kicking and having a good time. Obviously, we lost. I was bummed. I'm like, all right, I gotta drive back to Akron. Oh, first thing I opened on my Twitter to was Kris Drew will never be shit in life,
bro. That's crazy. Let's jump in.
Nobody planted the flag in my backyard. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. He wants to win Directors Cups, not football natties.
Yeah, Gene Smith wants to win Directors Cup, not the football natty. 100% true. C says, what's the? Oh, sorry, somebody hit it.
Kris Drew, Michigan legacy is nasty, nasty work, Ron.
Yeah. See, you asked about the budget. We go jump into that later.
We got you on that.
Yeah. But
hey, it's not really my grandma's birthday, but I appreciate y'all messages.
Hey, if you in here, 1, like the video. 2, get somebody else in here. Let them know what Best Damn Media is putting on. Also, grab yourself a drink. You see Kris Drew in here. He get his little sip on. It's a thirsty Thursday.
So June is actually African American Music Month in America, just so you know. And this is wine because I associate wine with jazz music, because when I was working in Cleveland, I worked for a station. It was The Wave, and then they flipped, and they would do a wine cruise every year. And so I associate wine with jazz, and so that's why I'm tying this in. And then just because I do love the Black culture, it's watermelon wine. So it's just like wins across the board, and it's actually really, really pleasant. And since I see Cody in the chat, I just want to throw this out here. Parole Tide, like always. Yeah, we'll roll with that. But George is close to taking a throne on you guys from that one. But Q, man, I'm ready for the next topic, bro. I'm getting turned up.
All right, let's do this. So this is what we're gonna do next. Everybody in the chat, go ahead. Hit this. So we talked about the staff last time, we haven't talked about the new additions to the staff. I don't think we touched on that last time, but we're going to talk about the staff as a whole, right? So I want everybody to think, coach by coach in the staff, is this the best guy for this position in the country? And that's the standard. We touched on Ryan Day. So if you want our thoughts on Ryan Day, go ahead back to that last show. After you get done here, you'll hear our thoughts on him extendedly. But I want to get past Ryan Day because we need to touch on the staff position by position. So, Kris, I want to ask you in a general, and you can go really any position you want to, do you feel, how many coaches do you feel are not the best in the country at their current position and we can level up on?
Oh, like if I'm just gonna like broad stroke it, pause.
Yeah.
No homo.
Just
if I'm just gonna use the broad stroke, which is a great one, especially on Wednesdays. I'd probably say the only guys that are best in the country at their position are Justin Fry and the addition of Corey Dennis and Ryan Day together. So I think our quarterbacks are coached the best in the country. I think our offensive line is coached the best in the country, but it's kind of a recovery period. I don't think our corners are coached best in the country. I think that's absolutely fair to say. I don't think our safeties are coached best in the country, and that's so valid to say.
That's easy.
I think our running back coach is probably top 3 in America. So that one's up for so much. That's up for so much debate right there. I think our defensive line coach was the best in the country a couple of years ago. I think he's lost it a little bit, a lot of it. I think he's a little bit confused at this point. I mean, there's no reason for me watching the Georgia game, watching Jerron Cage trot out when we need one stop. So it's like that rap song, and I was talking with Ron about this. Like fourth quarter, I'm screaming, "Why the fuck is Cage in?" And no disrespect for the kid, but not a first-round draft pick, not an NFL player. Same with Teron Vincent. So I no longer think Larry's the best in the country, but I think he could be and could teach the best in the country. So if I'm just gonna in a vacuum, I've got 2 units that are receiving the best coaching in the country.
Brian Hartline.
Three. Excuse me. 3 with Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline is the best in the country by far. And then the one that is the worst, at least perform. I mean, I'll say it, bro. Parker Fleming does a terrible job and has done a terrible job in glaring moments. Now, I've always heard the talk about, he's a good coach. He's super smart. He's this, that. Mm-hmm. Okay. But if your unit performs poorly, if your unit looks like a poor coach unit, I'm going to call it like I see it. And honestly, it felt like every time special teams had a chance to be a plus on a team or really like change a game, they failed. So Parker Fleming is not even close on the best in America. But I'm curious your thoughts on that. If I'm pretty spot on, or if I'm off.
Yeah. So going straight down the line, I'll pick obviously quarterback with Corey Dennis, Ryan Day. I think is solid. We don't need to talk about that. Running back, I'm with you. What up, Craig? I think it is. He's at least top 3, top 5. I mean, I'm not particularly the best at evaluating running back coaches, but I would say no matter who steps up, we get a pretty good performance from our running backs.
But just like who else would you want? Like for me, there's only one running back coach I would want instead of him, and the guy that I would want is currently a head coach at Temple.
Yeah,
so
you're not getting that. So
like those guys move on. Like so Stan Drayton was Ezekiel Elliott's running back coach before he left, and he's a great one, a really, really great coach that Urban loved, but obviously like he's a head coach now.
Yeah, so he's not coming back. So yeah, I think we're good there. Obviously, I think Kean Bailey's the only coach on offense we really don't know what he's going to do yet, and we'll touch on Coach Key in a second. Defensively, it's a lot of question marks. LJ, like I said it maybe 2 weeks ago. I said, bro, playing Jerron Cage and Teron Vincent as much as he did is damn near a fireable offense. It is on the line. And especially with the recruiting misses he had last cycle, it's on the line of being like it's time to pack it up. And I like LJ. I like him. So obviously Jim Knowles, I think at linebacker, he's also our DC. I think he did a fantastic job turning those guys around. Now we do have questions that we will jump into later on. Is he playing the best players? But let me not say that too loud for the crowd, for the chat get crazy.
I think Jim Knowles might be the best linebacker, quote unquote, coach in the nation in terms of like teaching you guys how to play like the actual game. But in terms of choosing personnel, I have maybe a little bit of a different take on that. And obviously you said we'll touch on that in a little bit.
Yeah. He got his guys perform, so we can't knock him yet. The secondary. Okay. So for me, I've had this question since we did our hires. Perry Eliano, I think, had a chance to be the best cornerbacks coach in the country. Doing what he did at Cincinnati, 2 NFL players taking 3 stars. I don't know what Kobe Bryant's ranking was. But
no, Kobe Bryant, here we go. Kobe Bryant went to Glenville, Q.
Yeah.
Outside the top 800.
Okay, so yeah, so not even really a 3-star.
And it goes further than that. Do you know who won the Thorpe Award that year?
Wasn't it Kobe Bryant? He was
Yeah.
yeah.
And the consensus best corner in the nation was Sauce Gardner. They had
Fact.
2 guys that could have won the Thorpe Award, and everyone would have been thrilled. And
Yeah.
Cincinnati, both of them 3 stars.
Yeah,
Like,
so coming off
absurd.
yeah, so coming off that, he could, like, we don't know where his recruiting chops were at, but he could have been the best cornerbacks coach in the country. We got him coach safety. Tim Walton, quarterbacks coach in the country. He's not from what we've seen. I think he did a serviceable job. I actually think the corners got better as the season went on. But if you take in, and part of your job is recruiting, if you take in that and how the cornerbacks performed, he's not the best in the country.
You know what's wild? You know what's wild though, Q? When you slice all that up,
Yeah,
the guy that got the big raise was actually Tim Walton and not Perry Eliana.
which is it's surprising, but I do think from where the cornerbacks were at the beginning of the season to the end of the season, they did improve. And by the Georgia game, they weren't the weakness. It was the safeties. And I don't even remember everybody remembers, Denzel Ward getting beat, but anybody can get beat like that. It wasn't something crazy.
Denzel
ran a good route in the end zone. Like, it happens. That's part of playing corner. So while I do think they did a good job, when I'm thinking best of the country, the boogeyman of the cornerback room, Fran Brown, who we talked about a little bit in pre-show, like, that's the best in the country.
Fran is the best in America by far, and he recruits guys that have that little bit of toughness in them. Like, he recruits guys that would rip beef jerky off a wall type. Like that's how tough they are, and that's like the one thing Ohio State's missing in terms of like quote unquote toughness. Like, we don't really have those guys anymore, and he recruits his ass off. So no, Fran's the best in the country, and I'll stamp that. I think he's the black cornerback version of Brian Hartline.
Yeah, so they're really good. So if we know he's the best, we know we don't have the best, which we should. So let me pair that into our 2 new guys in here. And also tell me and Kris where we can level up. Who do you think should stay? Who do you think we can level up on? And I'll throw that up here after we talk about our new hires. So we have 2. We have Coach Key, who obviously we've wanted to get a coaching job for a while. We're glad he stayed around. And I'm really excited to see him, hit the trail and see what he can do with this tight end room. And the guy we should have brought in 2 years ago, don't know why we didn't, don't know why he had to go get an internship at Notre Dame, but James Laurinaitis, he's in here. So Kris, go ahead and rate these 2 new hires for me. Tell me how you like them.
I'll start with the easy one. James Laurinaitis is an A+. James Laurinaitis has everything you want from a full-time coach, except for he's not taking up a full-time slot. I wonder, though, how long he can keep that up, because the way he's spoken about in Columbus, it feels like, whoa, he has that. Whoa, he has the passion for it. And he seems hyper-driven and super responsible as a young coach. Don't have to worry about anything else off the field or off the four-wheelers. He's responsible and understands that. James Laurinaitis also recruiting chops. Got him. Guess what? Ohio State has some relationships and some strengths with linebackers they wouldn't have if it weren't for James Laurinaitis, and it kind of supplements the fact that there's some questions about Jim Knowles recruiting. And I'll tell you this, Q: if James Laurinaitis was recruiting Taggart Curtis for 3 years, guess who Ohio State lands?
Taggart Curtis.
100%, no doubt about it. So I like James. I'm excited for James. I think James has a chance to be kind of like a young Fickle almost, and kind of in that defensive staff. He's that intense, and he played the game, played at a high clip, and is considered one of the all-time great Ohio State linebackers, and then also franchise linebackers when he was with the Rams, like leading them in all kinds of categories. And he played the game the right way, and in a way that you can teach. Sometimes you worry about like guys who are freak athletes coming back and being coaches, because it's like, oh, why can't you do this, this, and this, and jump over that building and save those kids on the way to scoring a touchdown? Well, no shit, I'm a generational athlete, but the ones that aren't tend to teach really well. So I'm excited for James Laurinaitis. It's a home run hire, and he's probably better than some of our other coaches, Parker. But I don't know anything else about that. Oh, just came down with something.
Yeah. And did you touch on Coach Key?
Oh, Coach Key, B+. I'm excited about Key. Unproven, but got recruiting chops. We know that. And I'm excited for our tight ends to play like receivers.
Yeah, facts. So for me, I think I would probably change the same ratings as you. I think James Laurinaitis is an A+ higher. You just knew by listening to him on the radio show. You're like, this dude, there's something about him. We should really pull him in. And another plug, I think, man, can we go get Malcolm Jenkins? What is he doing? He retired now. Can we pull him back into the program for safeties? I mean, he played the game for a long time. He played corner and safety at a high level. Can we pull him back in?
I mean, guys that understand the rivalry. Like right now, we only have we have 0 on staff that are from Ohio.
Yeah, I just want to plug that. That'd be a guy we plug back in. But I think he's an A+ hire. I'm interested to see him on. If he pulls, I always mess up his name, but it's Asa. Not forget
Kingston Asa Velamo.
Yeah, from Cali. Hey, we cooking with something. I just want some linebackers that can run. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, obviously, if he can take the thing I like about it, him teaching what he did, and we had better athletes on the roster than what James Lawrence was when he was here. If he can take those guys and maximize them and be able to teach them what he did and add their athleticism, man, we have first rounders. So if he is able to do that, I would be super excited to see what comes from him, and I want him to get that full-time spot.
How would you grade Joe Philbin?
So with where we are right now, and that's a little bit of a roster concern. We'll jump in a minute. I think having a NFL coach, and you and Zach talked about it, having an NFL coach on as a analyst, have an NFL coach with Brian Hartline, who he played for, teaming up with his first season, I think is an A+ hire. I know he's an O-line guy. The O-line is the position maybe that can keep us away from winning a title. It's probably the biggest question mark. So bringing that in, bringing in an NFL guy, I'm all about it. And he was one that I didn't touch on, but yeah, I'm all about him. And then Coach Key, touch on real quick. I really like Coach Key. I think it's a B hire, like you said. I'm excited to see our tight ends in the pass game, and it looks like he might be recruiting a little different type of tight end that we've gotten. So I'm excited for him. What about you with Joe Philbin?
I love the Joe Philbin hire, and I think the other part of it is like one of the things that Kevin Wilson, like, kind of notoriously didn't want to do was recruit. I think this is like a Kevin Wilson role in terms of like what he means to Ryan Day, except for you add a plus recruiter in a guy like Coach Key. Like imagine if Kevin Wilson didn't have to go recruit, you could send Coach Key on the trail, but still have Kevin Wilson coaching. I feel like this is what that is like. And like the strength in the run game and the strength in the pro style concepts is so important because it's been shown time and time again, an elite NFL schemer will always trump a college schemer almost every single time, as long as they are attentive and know what they're doing. Obviously, we saw it with Tom Monken last year. A pro-style guy absolutely put the beats on our guy Jim Knowles in a game that, honestly, I thought if we scored 40, we would have won. So that's my thoughts on that. But keep us moving, bro. You're doing a great job. Hey, real quick, though, before we keep pushing, though, listen, we got some news, Q. I don't know if you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead. We almost at 30 mark. Go ahead and break that for him. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
We got this thing going. Ron James, one of the best ever. Community building. Best Damn Media has launched a Discord. So if you're looking kind of for all your cultural content in one place or content outside of the sport that you want to share with people that love the sport, Discord is the place to be. There's going to be a link in the description. Definitely recommend hitting it up. I'm in there. I'll be dropping recruiting nuggets every now and again, just having fun, talking with the guys. There's a place if you like spaces. I mean, there's audio rooms as well, so you can talk with each other. It's just a really cool thing that Ron's built, and I'm excited to kind of be in there and sharing some Minister Sports content for you guys, and like just like hanging out with the community and the people who've really helped Ron and Best Damn Media and Cam, aka Truther, kind of get this thing going. So no, I'm really excited, and I am in the Discord. So make sure and throw a friend request at me when you jump in. My name is Aimbot Kris on that bad boy.
Yeah, definitely jump into there because the spaces are going crazy. And I would like to plug KC and DTV. Oh, yeah. They had a space, was it 2 nights ago now? Well, that was a banger. You have never seen this before. We had 2 recruits in there, both committed, one trying to flip another one. And we let Virginia Tech's fans come in there and give their pitch to flip the West Virginia recruit. You ain't seen that nowhere. No one's had that idea. It was on Best Damn Media, KCD TV first. So if you see somebody copy it, you know where it started and you know who does it right.
Flip space. So KCD TV is always jumping, honestly. Like that is the place to be. It's like imagine like your most exclusive club, except for it's a space and you got real niggas in there. Yeah. And we're giving you all the talks you need. We'll debate anybody, and then obviously the flip space. And honestly, like if for those of you who love comedy, like seeing Dog. I'm sorry, Q, if you consider yourself a funny guy. Are the two funniest dudes I've ever met. Like literally probably by a quarter mile, bro. Like this dude, this Michigan fan was in there. Giovanni had his profile pick up, had his toes out. And I've never heard somebody make jokes about somebody's profile picture for 5 straight minutes without repeating a single thing. Just all time spaces. So make sure you come kick it for sure. In KCD, we are moving that joint on over to the Best Damn Media Discord.
Yeah. So yeah, wanted to plug that. We have some more news for you later, but we'll leave it hanging for you as of right now. So Kris, moving this forward, and yeah, Cam, Gabe Williams was in there trying to flip another team's recruit. So
shout out Gabe Williams. He had an interception today at the OTF finals.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's jump into this. So now I want to tackle this roster, something we talked about before, but now the dust has settled. So we got all the transfers. We know who our roster is going for. Kris Drew, in a short answer, is this roster good enough to win a championship this season? Oh, you put the hood on.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
All right, there we go. So what I want to break down is this team, and I said it before, the championship window ends this year. And why did I say that? Because the amount of pro talent coming, like people talk about, this is Michigan's year. Oh, they're going to be better than last year. Yada, yada, yada. This team is way more fucking talented.
So talented, bro.
Than that team. And as talented as any team we're going to play, which when the talent equates is down to coaching. So as long as the coaching's right, this roster is loaded. All of those guys from that 21 class, when we had that giant run of 2020, COVID was out, and we were just landing everybody. Maybe the last time you were before, maybe a little bit recently, that you were really excited to recruiting. I mean, that probably got everybody even more in recruiting than they already were. They're juniors now. The time is up. We got 2 5-star prospects at quarterback, offensive weapons through the board. You look at defense, you're like, I mean, this defense wasn't great last season, but I like what I'm seeing. This roster is loaded. So I want to ask you first, what are you worried about in this roster? You think it's good enough to win a championship? What are your worries?
Honestly, like roster-wise, I don't know if we're gonna hit it here, but roster-wise, in terms of the roster, what I'm worried about, absolutely nothing. The only thing I'm worried about is, are the right guys going to play? Now, let me start this. 2 years ago, I was on with Zach, and I told Zach this. I said, the window is really 2024. And at the time I said it, I thought that Quinn Ewers was going to be the quarterback for this year. Yeah. Obviously, we know that things changed. But the other part of it was I felt like Ohio State was going to have the one thing that I thought they were missing since the last time they won or were really dominant is the best defensive line in the sport. And what it does is it takes that boy Jim Knowles, in the words of C. You don't have to be a Riverboat game. You don't have to be a hood nigga shooting dice. You can trust the D line to get after it because that means something that matters. When you have a disruptive 4, when you have 2 defensive tackles that are both capable of getting 5 or 6 sacks a year at least, that can ruin an entire game plan. Even if Jack Sawyer doesn't live up to what I think he will, and by the way, I think Jack is about to have a massive year. Even if JTT doesn't live up to kind of the big-time status that he had, if he is a B player, which he already proved he can be, with the A-plus defensive tackles, and now Larry has no choice but to play the right guys,
no choice.
This could be a defense that is absolutely suffocating. And Q, do you remember the last time Ohio State had a defense that was absolutely suffocating?
I think back, there was a guy, Jeff Hafley, right?
There was a guy named Jeff. And I'm going to tell my damn grandkids about the Jeff Hafley defense because that defense smothered with Chase Young and Devon Hamilton. And I think, honestly, if we can get a fraction of that, please watch out because this will not only be a great team in college football, we'll be looking back by week 9 of the season talking about, damn, how do you think this team would hold up against a 2019 team? That's how good I think they can be. And here we go, another step. You don't need the most talented quarterback in the sport to win it all. You simply do not. We just saw Stetson Bennett screech, go back to back like he's on the cover of Lethal Weapon. He went and did it. We watched Mac Jones, who I think has worked out a grand total of 7 times his entire life, go crazy on a loaded Bama team because they were loaded. 2 things here. Ohio State's going to have the best receiving core on offense. Yep. That helps the quarterback, especially in the quick game, especially if your offensive line's a little bit worried you're about quick game. And on defense, they'll have the best defensive line in the country, which means maybe they can afford going 3 and out. And they couldn't last year. So I am thrilled and excited. I think it's a deep defensive line. And guess what disruptive defensive line play does, Q?
Well, it kills the other team's offense is what it does.
Well, those corners
it makes them play better.
That I think were dog water, now they only have to cover for a half second. And that makes you a good corner. So, hey, I'm all in. I'm
right with you.
Tipsy. I'm a little tipsy right now. I've been drinking a little bit, but this is the truth serum. I like us. And as my boy Cam would say, SNS.
Yeah, Cam talked about on our Sunday show. He was talking about having a defensive line, 2 interior defensive linemen that can push the pocket. Because what we had a lot was defensive ends. They would get around and beat their man, but the quarterback's so up in the pocket, they can't get there. It's impossible. And he said it. I'm happy to have 2 dudes that have to play. There's no other choice, nobody else to play that will push his pocket in. The defensive line should be more disruptive. You talk about it's going to make the quarterback play a lot better, which I think we've leveled up our secondary play a lot. But it's going to make this defense better, and it will come down to is what.
Also, you don't have to blitz like a madman.
Yeah,
you don't have to bring cover 0, engage 8.
You don't have to send the house, man, and that is good news. And 2, that puts the onus back to our strength. If they can hold up,
Book?
Can we? What's good, J Book? Can
Happy
we trust
Black History Year, J Book?
Yeah, can we trust Ryan Day to get it done? And I think we all can trust Ryan Day to score points. So I think it's a marriage made in heaven. Now, if I'm going to worries, the only worry I have is the offensive tackles. Really, that is really besides. I'm not worried about the quarterback play until Ryan Day puts a bad quarterback in. I ain't seen it yet. It's impossible. So I think outside the tackle spot, I really have no worries on this team.
I do want to ask you something. I want to ask you something, Q.
Yeah.
With the offensive tackle worries that we have, and there was really no real talk about moving Donovan Jackson, who people believe to be our best offensive lineman outside. Do you think there could be more of an emphasis on pounding the rock? Because probably our 3 best offensive line are all on the inside, and we have a stable of 5 running backs. Do you think that you could see a philosophy change? Because my belief has always been this. People think that Ryan Day's real throw happy. I think Ryan Day is a little bit horny to get the best players the ball whenever he can. Yeah. In 2019, I didn't think Ryan was throw happy. I thought that the best players on the team were Justin Fields and J.K. Dobbins, so that leads you to run the ball. And Wyatt Davis were the 3 best, so you run the ball. In 2022, I think that the best players were C.J. Stroud, Paris Johnson, and Marvin Harrison Jr., so you throw the ball. Yeah. I think this year the best players are still Marv, but probably not Kyle McCord. But it's probably one of those stable of running backs. So you think if he leans into that, getting the best players the ball, you could see the ground game kind of hitting a point. People forget Ryan Day came up in running the ball. Like they had Andre Williams at Boston College. Yeah, with Justin Fry. Crazy. I mean, they had a 2,000-yard rusher in 2019 with J.K. Dobbins when he was that good. So I think that he wants to run the ball, and a lot of those power concepts come from Chip Kelly, but I do want your thoughts. Could that be a reason why we didn't move Donovan Jackson outside, because we want our interior offensive line to be really good?
Yeah, I think that could be an answer to that. I do want our best players playing their best position. I've never been one to move a guy out here to fill another weakness and then move a more of a weakness in that spot. I do want to give myself credit. I was the one saying all along, I was like, I'm not sold on this Josh Fryer to tackle thing. I said it in our last day of the program.
All right, Q wants his flowers. Throw flowers.
I told everybody. I told the chat, I was like, Josh Fryer probably not the guy. And let me pat myself on the back, because what happened in transfer portal, we were looking for tackles, not tackles. So I will say.
Bro, man, every tackle they hit the portal, we called.
Twice.
It's like when that girl takes her boyfriend out of her IG, it's like you DM her right away. That's what we were on.
Oh, facts. So with that being said, I do think with these set of running backs, somebody's going to come out of that room and be a dude. I'm hoping it's Trey. I think he has the most potential. I think with that running game, with the power, the running game is going to change to whatever Justin Fry and Ryan Day want to do, which is going to be different than stretch. We're going to see something different. And I think, it's going to be a more emphasis on the running game. We'll give a little more balance this season.
3-3-0. Chip Trainum. That's your guy.
See, here we go. So, okay, y'all. Chip Trainum left his running back 1 position, come here, play linebacker. He is not the best running back at Ohio State. He is not going to be on the field this season. Cut this clip up. Chip Trainum is not the guy. Trevion Henderson is the guy. I've said it. I'm saying it all along. Y'all cheating, Chip and Dallin like they Reggie Bush and Lindell White. They are not. Travion Henderson needs to be the guy. He's going to set the tone for the running game. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Cut this clip up. If I'm wrong, you can play it then.
I'm just saying they never let Trey return kicks.
Chip ain't really returned a kick. He got to the 20.
I ain't never seen Trey stay on track for a whole play.
Hey, we could have got the ball to the 25 if he just fair caught it. That's all I'm saying. You see?
Hey, I rock with Dallin too, though. I know I love Dallin. You know how I feel about Dallin. I think Dallin's gonna. I honestly, like, if I had to, like, in the Georgia game, if I had to give a guy 25 carries, I would have given Dallin or Chip the carries instead of Trey. Trey bugs me. I think he's, like, physically gifted, yes, but if you're physically gifted but run the ball like a meathead, I can't really rock with you. And I'm hoping it's the foot, because obviously all I want is for him to live up to the potential, because his year one was so good. But if I just want feel and consistency and to feel good about it and comfortable with ceiling and floor, it's Chip and it's Hayden, in my opinion. But
hey, PSA, Trayvon Henderson, can you hear me? Please don't make me look stupid. There's 34 people in here. Please like the video. Don't make me look stupid. Get your vision right. Run the ball. Don't have them expose me later on Twitter. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna be in a safe space.
Hey, so in Akron, we drink garden hose water, and that's why we have the best athletes, not Glenville, Akron.
J Book said, Chip is nice, man. Better stop sleeping on him. Yeah, man. I mean, he was playing running back and play linebacker. J Book, I don't have to go against you on that. But hey, I could.
It's Ohio State. It's Ohio State. We run converted players into the ground. Like, we converted Cam Martinez from a quarterback to a safety. We converted our starting linebacker, Steel Chambers, running back to linebacker. It's convert you. We converted Cam out from receiver to corner.
I'm gonna get J Book. What he say about conversions in the Locker Boy chat? They don't really work out that well. That's your own words. I'm using it. You thought I forgot. I'm using it against you.
I mean, K Stover converted so many times, I forget what his original position is.
Oh, man.
I ain't forget. Look. Mike just put in the chat, Kris, stop lying. Akron ain't like that. Hey, name the best athlete from Glenville. I promise you Akron has a better one.
Kris must have forgot. They take compound V in Glenville. They running 3.940s.
No, see, we drink the compound V out of the river that runs from Cleveland to Akron.
But all right, man. So yeah, but with the roster, man, we really have no questions. We're gonna move on from that. But let me know. I think it's gonna be level up. I think this is a championship run type of team. So let's hop into it. So Kris, next thing I want to touch on real quick before we get into our last gems is facilities. We've talked about it last show. We went extensively, and I'm gonna show some stuff because why does it seem like yeah, I get it. The SEC schools, they got big money, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just different down there. That's cool. But why does it feel like we're falling behind in the Big Ten? So do want to show y'all this. That is Penn State, their new Lions Club. They're renovating. Giving this right here is gonna get some donors in here and let them see the team come out the tunnel. That is really cool. It's a great idea. I like it. Let's move on.
Hey, go to that last picture. Go to that last picture real quick. Hey, what would make this way better? If above the window it said Club KCD TV on it. That would be really jumping. I can't even hold you.
We need that in the stadium. Shout out to KCD TV.
That's what I'm about to do. Don't let me win the lottery. I'll drop a bag on getting naming rights to something.
Yeah, and this looks like a new stadium. That is not Ohio State, everybody. That is Northwestern. And tell me that joint don't look badass. We might, once they get that joint built, we might have to pull up, see what the stadium looking like. Got to do it early because the Chicago cold.
They got the nerds out there too, so it's gonna be high tech as a motherfucker for real.
Heck yeah, and that's another shot of the stadium. So it seems like we falling behind a little bit, and you like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Northwestern academic school, they got bread. Penn State, they on our level. They should be leveling up. But there's a program way below us that's spending money, and that is this
building. Zero. I don't even got no words. Swimming. Catch me just.
Kris, is that Maryland?
That was fire. I was getting into that.
Hey, I didn't want to leave y'all, but I would have watched all 48 seconds of it. But Maryland has
like Q has an affinity for Maryland.
Bruh, I'm a Maryland basketball fan. I was born there. It is what it is. They should not have a better football facility than Ohio State has. That joint is shiny. It's new. Kris, would you like to tell us how much money the academic department made last season?
$252 million.
Okay. And as C-Ball brought up, how much money of that is actually kind of unaccounted for?
A lot.
Yeah, 77 million. It's just miscellaneous. Shout out to Rev. He said Gene got some more kids out there that he got to pay for. But making all this money, can we at least get a sketch? Can we get a? Does it take much to put an AI picture of some updates? Like, we don't even get sketches, ideas. What is going on with the facilities, Kris?
I couldn't tell you, well, I could tell you. Really, the issue is our athletic director wants to value every other sport and try to take care of everybody. It's the idea that like everybody eats instead of kind of treating the cash cow like the cash cow. Like, I get it. You love all your kids equally, but that kid's going to go to the league. So make sure that kid has the proper training. And that's maybe that's a bad analogy. maybe that was a bad job. but really, like, we've gotten to a point where we care so much about the things that are non-revenue sports that we're holding the main sport and not just the cash cow for your university, but the cash cow for the entire Big Ten back when it shouldn't have to be. And it's almost like Gene Smith chooses to send Ryan Day into basketball games every single day while wearing ankle weights. Like, buddy, take the ankle weights off. Nobody else is wearing them. So yeah. I'm hoping that they step up in facilities now. And it feels like when we do step up, it's like our step up is the same as where the other programs stepped up like 3 years ago. Like, Georgia will get something like a nice ass facility, and then we'll get similar facilities 3 years later, and then Georgia builds again. So it just feels like we're behind because we are taking care of all of these other sports, if that makes sense.
And I want to answer this question, Steve. That's why I left this chat up. You want to take a guess how much money Ohio State has spent in football facility renovations, not counting the new turf, because I don't know how that much was, but since the year 2000? Kris, you want to guess?
Since the year 2000?
Yes.
I mean, I hope it would be over $50 million.
Kris, the number is $7.8 million. I searched it. I looked for every article that says Ohio State renovation. That was when they did their new cafeteria and all that, which it looks nice. It's cool. But $7.8 million. It is in multiple articles. If you can find an article out there that tells you different, please send it to me because I was looking for it. $7.8 million since the year 2000, and that's because I couldn't search any further back.
Bro, St. Vincent St. Mary's done more than that since the year 2000.
There is nobody who has spent. I would argue there's no facility in the country.
So thank you, Sue, for that. The new turf was $8 million.
Okay, so we got some new turf.
I wanted
new turf on the indoor outdoor.
I wanted to be 50.
As far as the facility is concerned, it's been $8 million in actually updating the look of the facility and what recruits going to see. Ohio State is hiding they don't have a video out there. Ohio State facility tour. You will see one from Big Ten Network about 3 years ago in that cafeteria. Outside of that, and I guess the turf, that's it. That's it. Like Zach said, it's a wall of concrete in there. Like, I'm not asking for a lot, even though I'm kind of asking for a lot. But my man Destroying has seen every facility. He went to Hawaii. He ain't been to Ohio State yet. That should tell you something. That's just my idea on it. You always say the turf, and the turf is a problem. It's not even like we got the best turf in the country. Everybody's injured.
Turf stinks. NFLPA is we're going to ban that turf, Q, because people keep having soft tissue injuries on it. Like the NFL is. So why do we have it?
So basically, that's a minus $8 million. That will put us at zero. I'm gonna subtract that from what we spent because that's going backwards. So I'm gonna put us at zero.
Like, somebody call Wexner, get a loan.
You know what I'm saying? The new turf hurts our old players. So it's not even cool. You know, they need to get out there, but they won't spend the money to go get some actual turf that is recommended by the NFLPA. So take with that what you want. Gene Smith's DMs is open. It is open, so take it that what you want. But yeah,
real quick announcement. We are trying to get to that 50 mark, that 50 like mark. So go ahead and smash the like button, and then be sure to win this video and share this with a friend. Obviously, Best Day Media is getting things going, and I absolutely endorse, and I'm excited for the continued growth. So let's run those likes up for the homie, please.
Oh, facts. If you're new in here, man.
Unless you're racist.
If you're new in here, sub, hit that likes, tell somebody, man. We getting a lot more shows. We getting up and running. Happy to have Kris in here. I'm gonna move this forward into more so recruiting, but let's take a little step back, Kris. So in 2022, we had 2 guys from Ohio, right? We got them to commit, big time recruits. And going forward, we want to sell other recruits. Hey, you can come here. What we want to say is you can be the next CJ Hicks. You can be the next Sonny Styles. But before we jump into recruiting, let's see how their play at Ohio State is going after their first year. So Kris pulls some numbers. He's the snap guy. Kris, let's start with CJ Hicks, who everybody is saying CJ Hicks has to play. Compared to the other linebackers that were at the top of the class that you pulled. What is their snap count?
The CJ Hicks stuff is wild because CJ Hicks came into Ohio State at a time where linebacker play was not very good. And every basic metric would suggest like guys that come in and are 5 stars are usually ready to play earlier than they have been 5 and 6 years ago. So you would think, okay, CJ Hicks should play on the field. He should see significant snaps. Here we go.
At least.
CJ Hicks saw 0 defensive snaps last year. CJ Hicks, again, saw 0 defensive snaps last year. That is disgusting for the guy who everybody had as the number 1 linebacker in the entire country. Period.
Fact.
0 is not okay. I don't care how you slice it. Especially when you look at guys in his recruiting class. Let's look at other guys who were ranked below him. Harold Perkins at LSU earned all SEC honors, I believe, as a freshman and had 513 snaps. But Kris, no. LSU played in a conference title, something Ohio State didn't. LSU had a better defense than Ohio State. Harold Perkins played. Abdul Carter, Penn State, good defense. Generally speaking, better than Ohio State's. 514 snaps. But we can't get CJ Hicks 1. We can only get him special team snaps. We can't get him a single one. And we've hit a point where it's gotten a little bit ridiculous. Deshaun McCullough, who honestly former commit, who we should have landed, should have circled back on at Indiana. Played well. Would have been second on Ohio State in sacks. Had 476 snaps. Now, I know Iowa's defense wasn't that good, but that kid proved he could play and be productive. All 3 of those kids were ranked lower than CJ Hicks and viewed as lower priority prospects. You can't have it every way, like I said before. You can't claim to be the best at developing and the best at talent evaluating, and yet other guys in your class that are supposed to be worse than you turn out better than you and can play 500. Like, imagine if I told, like, there's no way Abdul Carter is 500 snaps better than CJ Hicks. There's no way Harold Perkins is 500 snaps better than CJ Hicks. And so CJ has to play. And then for recruiting wise, like, I know Sammy Brown thugging with my rounds, June woo, the visit's going down. Didn't get to happen, but we couldn't even sell that to Sammy Brown. Like, we sold Sammy Brown on, yeah, bro, come on over here and sit down on the bench for 3 years, and then we'll think about playing you.
Yeah, they made my guy Cam look real dumb, basically 4 hours later, 4 hours after the show. But I'm going to ask you 2 questions, Kris. First question. Deshaun McCullough was a commit in our class with 2 other linebackers. He played his, 500 snaps or so. How many of those other 2 played?
476 snaps, recorded 4 sacks, pass deflections, all that.
How many did those other 2 play?
513, 514.
No, I'm talking about Gabe Powers.
Gabe Powers, CJ Hicks, they didn't play a single snap on defense.
That'll tell you something. Now this is my second question. If Abdul Carter and Harold Perkins for some reason wanted to be Buckeyes last year, how many snaps do you think they would have gotten this defense?
Not one.
Not one. And you're talking about 2 in the top 10 of linebackers returning Korner on 3.
Yeah,
they wouldn't play it at all. So you're
disgusting, malpractice, atrocious, borderline. Never mind. Go ahead.
Criminal.
Lock him up.
The Bill Davis effect, where you should be locked up for costing people money? Yes, most definitely. It makes them as good as those 2 guys are. If you watch Harold Perkins, you watch Abdul Carter, monsters on the field, super athletes on the field. Imagine them not playing a snap last season. But We had really good linebackers who didn't go pro and are now redshirt 5th year, maybe 6th-year seniors. So we all good. Shout out to Ron. But let's move it over to safety real quick. So there is another safety that we got, Sonny Styles. Really good player, generational talent, some say, best in the country rated. Kris, you pulled the snap count from a safety that was ranked lower than Sonny Styles. You want to compare those?
Yeah. Malachi Starks played 800 snaps. 800 snaps, Malachi Starks.
That man didn't get off the field.
No. Wonka played 90 snaps. Both of those are more than Sonny Styles' 69 snaps. And it's like, oh, but Kris, but he played at the end of the year. Well, maybe if he would have gotten snaps leading up to that Georgia game, maybe he would have been more equipped and could have played a little bit better and gotten more experience to be ready for that Georgia game. But instead, we almost did him a disservice by not playing him all season outside of like 5 snaps against Toledo and then tossing him into the Georgia game. How about we get the kid ready and let him unleash against Georgia instead of, oh, God, he's our best option on a month's prep. Let's throw him in. Hopefully he does well.
Whole fact. And you think, too, and this is my point. We saw how good, Tommy and Steele were at the end of the season. And obviously, and talk about, well, those guys were good. We can't put them on the field. The thing that these other programs is doing, playing Harold Perkins early, playing Abdul Carter early, is they get to cut their teeth through these bad games where you're going to blow a team out by fucking 50. Yeah. And by the end of the season, Malachi Starks he's not a weakness. We got to worry about him. Oh, something might happen. He is a veteran in the system, and his ceiling, it was higher than the guy in front of him. You are getting a better player at the end of the season when the games matter the most. The games didn't matter against Iowa. The games didn't matter against Akron. The games didn't matter against Toledo. They mattered against Michigan. They mattered against Georgia. And guess what? Our most talented players that could possibly, we don't know, they could have not been, but they could have been our best players on that side of the ball, didn't have a chance. So basically, you're telling me it was more worth it to play 3 guys that went undrafted in the secondary, and you didn't find the one guy who possibly can get a first-round grade, well, maybe 2, but we'll see. But the one guy we know should get a first-round grade when he leaves Ohio State, he didn't touch the field.
Q, what if I told you that each freshman makes between, and I'm just making this up, makes between 20 and 60 mistakes during this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Malachi Starks played 800 snaps. Do you think he got all 60 of his mistakes out before that final game?
He probably got at least 58.
Exactly. And if Sonny Styles, say he had 50 mistakes in him, and he's only played 69 snaps, chances are you'll get those mistakes in moments.
It's a way higher percentage it'll happen. And to paneling that into recruiting, I just want to leave with those guys I want to ask the chat, when's the last time you feel like we've won a big defensive recruiting battle?
This one breaks my heart to think about.
I don't even remember the last big, please tell me, because I don't have an answer for you. Who's the last big defensive recruiting battle? Not a guy from Ohio who grew up wearing an Ohio State hoodie that we've got. That is my question. I'm gonna ask you because I don't know. We haven't won a big time battle, and it seems like years at this point. Really?
Yeah, I mean, so I think JTT was the last one I seen in the chat.
Yeah, JTT would be a good one. Brian Harline had that connection, so that is one, but it's few and far between. It's not very many.
Like that kid's an upperclassman now.
Yeah, JTT is a junior. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He's leaving. You'll enjoy him for one more season because he's gone. So that's our last one. So we ain't gonna really have if we don't get one this cycle, we gonna have none on the roster next season. Yeah, so that's my point. So when y'all say like you can't have it both ways. If you want to go out and you want Ohio State to pull these 5 stars and all that, but are gonna say, well, we were playing our best players and those guys deserve to be on the field 24/7. You can't have both. We're not gonna get the best recruits if they're not seeing the field early. Both cannot be true. So if you want to be an Ohio State fan, be okay losing at the end of the year because you don't have your possible best team. You're basically getting robbed of seeing your best team hit the field if we keep going like this.
I love the way you said that. You're getting robbed of seeing your best team at the end of the season. Forget having the best team week to week. Have your best team at the end of the year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we lost by 1 point.
Jermaine Matthews is from Ohio. Jermaine Matthews is from Ohio. He said non-Ohio. Like, I love Jermaine.
Not Ohio. Those guys grow up. They want to be at Ohio. I'm talking about we had a D tackle from Texas, and we went and got him. We had a linebacker from California, and we went and got him.
Even Jordan Hancock, like they said, Jordan Hancock is going to be a junior also.
Yeah, I mean, he's upper level. I mean, I'm not saying we haven't got any, but doesn't it feel like it's been a long time since we got one?
Yeah, hell
You feel-
yeah.
And that's the 21 class. Those are all written at 21 class I talked about earlier. So it's not like it was last year. It's not like it was the year before. It's been a little, or even this year, it's been a little bit. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm just saying we don't get very many. There may be a couple in there, but we don't get very many, is all I'm saying. So also, Kris, I want you to touch on this before we jump out of here. Is just the NIL. We did rag on it last time, and it's really come a long way. And I know you have more in touch with that than I am. So let us know where NIL has come from. Probably the last time we talked about it.
In a really good place right now, like really moved ahead nicely. Obviously the addition of the 1870 club has really helped. And for one thing it's provided is competition. When there's competition in a space, people are forced to play better and play harder and get things, because it's result driven. So the NIL is now in a place where they're not offering very, very little dollars for kids. And that's helpful. Like we have something to offer, we have something at the table, and whether you like it or not, college football has been moved to a place where, do you have anything for me? Okay, now let's build a relationship. It's almost like the current dating market as well. So Ohio State's in a much better spot NIL wise, and I think because of that, I do expect a very good class in 2024. I know last year the only 5-star that signed to the Big Ten was Brandon Ennis. I think Ohio State could have 3 or 4 5-stars in this next upcoming class. Or at least that's certainly what I hope. So no, NIL's in a good place, man. And they now good place, but you have to keep raising money. And obviously that's a big part of it. So we'll see what the 1870 plans to do with their first full year. Obviously getting the full endorsement by Ryan Day. I don't know if you saw, but he's the podcast is being hosted by Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Who's he with again? I forgot. The chat will tell me though. So just they're doing good stuff, and there's a plan and there's upside for it. So I'm excited for 1870, and I think
we do get the answer of, can these guys actually recruit? I gave a lot of passes in recruiting because NIL was not there. I gave a lot. So you're finishing up in NIL. Now we're going to see
Michael Bennett, national champion Michael Bennett, hosting the podcast with Ryan Day.
Yeah, so we're gonna see who can really recruit, because there's no excuses. You got outbid. You're at least comparable enough to go get a good player. So we will see.
We will see.
Yeah, man. So basically, that's our update and state of the program. I asked Kris to do it last time. So Kris, I'm gonna ask you this time. Where do you feel like in total, if we wrap up everything we just talked about, where do you think the state of the program is? You got 30 seconds to a minute, whatever you want. Let everybody know.
I think this is a team teetering on the brink. I think Ryan Day is where Kirby Smart was at this point of Kirby Smart's progression. I think Kirby was learning how to take his lumps and trying to figure out how to win the big game. Obviously, Kirby Smart's big issue was, how can I get things going on offense? And Ryan Day's big thing is, how can I get things moving on defense? I do think the addition of Jim Knowles in year 2 and improved play that they got from the transfer portal in terms of patching up some key positions like Igbinosun will really, really help them. And honestly, I think I give this team, in terms of chances, I think, a 65-70% chance to return to the college football playoff and compete for a national title. And I feel good with that number, especially given the fact that you lose probably one of the most talented quarterbacks in team history. So I'm excited moving forward. I feel good. And I feel like this is the window for Ryan Day to figure out if he can get it done. And I think he's made enough mistakes on big stages and has never shied away from learning and adjusting and tweaking. And those things are important. So in terms of state of the program right now, if I was going to give it a tag, like I'm grading a report card, I think a B+. I think there's enough room for improvement, but not so much improvement because we are knocking on the door of that A. So with that being said, that's what I got, Q. Thank you.
Yeah. For me, if I had to give it a grade score, I'd probably put it at a B. I feel like this is such a sort of like seesaw point where it's like it's going to go one way or another. Like I said, this roster is loaded. I feel like this staff is good enough to do it. If they are not, we will find out very soon. I feel like all the pieces are there. This defense should be a lot better. And I trust Ryan Day to score enough points to win. I do hold Ryan Day accountable for the Michigan loss. For the most, I give him the biggest, because I felt like the defense was there until the end of the game, and he only put up 27 points, which you're not going to win any game in college football currently just doing that. So, but if we get the Georgia Ryan Day and in an improved defense, I feel like there's no reason this team should not win a title. If they do not, this will be a failure. And if they do not, it is going to be really cold in Columbus, even in the summertime, because it may be a long time before we win a natty, and we need that recruiting momentum. We need that momentum in the program. We are going to talk about this very soon of, is Ohio State still the sexy option? And Kris, is a good time to plug that. When are we going to talk about that, man? When we talk about how is Ohio State still sexy?
So as you know, Zach is in Vegas, and I still want to host a show. So pull up on me, and Q is going to co-host it with me. We're kicking it and having a good time. Lunch hour on the Menace to Sports YouTube channel Monday at noon. I'm really, really excited for that.
We going to the big leagues, baby. We going to the big leagues.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really awesome. I'm really excited, and I hope to see you all there. It's gonna be a good time. And then additionally, pull up to the playback. We're gonna be kicking it in there if you want to, chop it up post show and see how the guys get down.
Yeah, all the plugs. So pull up to the playback. Like Kris said earlier, the Discord, we are all in there. We are jumping. We're doing that. We're on Twitter. We're here every Sunday. The shows is coming. And like you said, Monday, we'll be live in action back in the big leagues. Kris, and shout out to Zach for having us do it. And we're going to talk a little more. We want to talk as Ohio State still a sexy option.
Absolutely.
That. A lot to talk about, and we are going to have a great time. So let me get some chats. Everybody, give me your grades while we wrap this up. Let me see what they got going on in the chat. Kasai, my guy King Kasai said it's natty season, baby. It's natty. Let's see. We going big time from Best Damn Media. Yeah, we going to the big leagues. Where is the playback? Playback TV, Best Damn Media. There you go. All you gotta do is search in Playback TV. Search it in right on your browser, just like you're watching us. It will be up there. Best Damn Media. They will be in there watching the OT7 Nationals. Big time. Shout out to my guy Gabe Williams. He's in there. He's in there balling. So we will watch that. It is in the description. All of that. Kris, if no one somehow knew who you were before they jumped in here and saw the state of the program, where can they find you?
Good luck, nigga.
You know where to find Kris, man. He will be on Menace to Sports. He is on Twitter. He is in the Discord. He is all that. If you want to find me, I am City Boy Quentin on Twitter. I will be here every Sunday for Best Damn Media. Flying Johnson on YouTube. And there we go. There we go. There's your link right there. Playbacktv.bestdamnmedia. And also, I do movies here on YouTube. Minor League Films. If you want to check me out. So, everybody, I appreciate you joining us for the state of the program. We are going to part 1. We're going to pick this part 2 up on Monday and talk a little more about that. Kris, any last words for the people?
I appreciate you, Chat Demons, and I appreciate you, Q.
Hey, man, we out of here.